Well, I know it's been a minute or two since we've talked about the LSA Supercharger. I could come up with 100 excuses, but I won't, as far as why it's been taking so long. Anyways, it didn't really have to do with this. I should have had this stuff sent out two and a half months ago, but I just got it sent out about 3 weeks ago. Just got this back from Jesse at Olson Kustom Works. Had the brick reinforcement done on it. So basically they weld on a 100 thousandths thick aluminum plate onto the back tank of the brick, where these have been known to fail out the back. That can have catastrophic results if you get water or coolant, enough of it, down into your combustion chambers. So I don't really need to explain that. The other thing I had them do was the water manifold modification, which obviously this goes in the front of the lid, and take the factory GM fittings out of it and have -12 AN fittings welded into it, so that you can use common fittings, such as these guys right here. I'm going to go ahead and get the lid lifted back off of there, and we'll get this put back together. Alright, we're going to put this thing together real quick. Make sure that these ports are cleaned out really good. There was a little bit of gunk and like some kind of sealant in there. The O-rings I've inspected to make sure that they look good still. This is essentially brand new, so I'm not too worried about it. So I've set this in place, but don't put the bolts in it yet. I'm going to put a little bit of soap on this guy. And we'll fish this guy up in there. Make sure that O-ring's in place. And we gotta push this guy onto the O-rings on the brick. There she goes. They're a very tight fit. Okay, so once the manifold is pushed onto the brick, we'll go ahead and install those 2 bolts. I believe it's pretty much 89 inch-pounds for all the bolts on the lid. Okay, so now we'll just pull the brick back to where the holes line up, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of Loctite on these bolts. If one of these bolts were to fall out of here, your engine may not survive. One of my biggest complaints on these Performance Tool inexpensive torque wrenches is the click is a little on the quiet side. All right, we are ready to put the lid back on. Make some progress. So the torque on the lid when putting the lid back onto the Supercharger is 2 stages. 44 inch-pounds first pass and 89 inch-pounds on the second pass for all the lid bolts. There is a pattern. I don't have it printed out. I just go you know, basically like you're putting a wheel on. Spread it out. So I've got this hose set a little bit on the long side coming up to the water manifold, so that I got some slack in here so that I can lift this coolant tee reservoir, I'll be able to pull this up high so that I can get the lid higher than the brick, top of the brick, for bleeding purposes. This should be cold water in, and this should be hot water out. These big old AN12 push locks I got on Amazon. After I get this thing bled, I'll pull this hose down and probably put a tie wrap around this, maybe a tie wrap around the top of the catch can, and then I might even loosen up these two hose clamps just a little bit, enough to get this guy to roll over so it's not poking up so high. And I think that'll work pretty good. So it's looking like I'm gonna probably want to tighten this fitting down before I tighten this fitting down. Well, there's something you don't see every day around here. It's probably only about the 5th time I've ever seen a V22. The old hair stander uppage. That was badass. Okay, so we got the lid put back on, and in theory we should now have a 100% functioning, sealed up intercooler system that has no water in it yet. We'll get to that after a bit, but so yeah, it's just a big circle basically. So you got cold coming in, hot coming out, big heat exchanger down here, into the pump, out of the pump, rinse and repeat. That is all heat exchanger right there. This is the wiring coming from the feeding the pump from our relay. I need to finish snaking this along the factory wire harness and get that hooked up. But man, it's pretty exciting. We're getting close to making some real power, hopefully. I'm gonna finish this wiring and then get some water put in it, and hopefully we'll go from there. If you want to stick around, I'll add some clips, kind of in reverse, I guess, if you will, of actually what it looks like with all the shroud and ductwork taken off of there, so you can see the heat exchanger from the top side and how I mounted it and all that good stuff. If you have any questions on what I did or how I did this intercooler setup, by all means, you guys know where to put them. Alright guys, got to make this one a little bit short and sweet. It's that time of the year where the garage is filling up full of pollen. All that pollen is just from about an hour. So, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the intercooler setup for the LSA Supercharger on the Corvette. This is just the way I'm gonna do it. Everybody else that's attempted this probably done it different on every installation, but this is a factory ZL1 Camaro intercooler or heat exchanger. They're relatively inexpensive. I think this one was like $72 new. So this is going to be the hot. This is a pre-molded Gates heater hose, 3/4 inch. I plumbed everything in 3/4 inch or -12s. So this will be hot, come through the heat exchanger, then that's heading over to feed the pump. I was able to find a hole in the chassis that's just big enough to get the hose coming from the pump back to the brick to fit through there. So this is temporarily, I've got this set up going to try and have this set up so that when the system's all put together and I go to service it and fill it and bleed it, I can take this factory coolant tee and pick the cap up literally higher than the brick so that it will be the highest point and we can get it bled. Then when that's all done, I can pull this down and zip tie it to some of the things down here, and then I'll probably have to just loosen the clamps up enough to lay this reservoir over a little bit, which shouldn't hurt anything, but it'll keep clearance nice in there. So here's where I put the pump, mounted to the inner fender apron. This is hard. It's Corvette plastic fiberglass. A couple of bolts here with some large washers to kind of spread the load out. So this is the hose coming from the heat exchanger. This is the hose that's going up to the brick. That should be sending cool fluid back to the brick. The wire harness is going to obviously plug into the end of the motor here, and it's going to go through that same slot in the frame up there that the hose is going through. It's just a power and a ground in a piece of convoluted tubing. I am going to have to forego my brake duct, at least on this side, and that's not really the end of the world. It'll be pretty unlikely that I'm ever frying the brakes in this car with repetitive, like road course type action. That's just not really my thing. So, what else did I have to do? Had to make some clearance to make this fit around the radiator support. Then obviously I had to notch the duct. All the duct and the radiator support are going to go back together like they would factory. So this is the radiator hold down, and you can see where I scallop this out right here. The intercooler or heat exchanger hose is coming through right here at an angle like this. This I had to notch this out for heat exchanger hose. And I had to notch this out right here for the heat exchanger hose, and I'm probably going to take this tiny little nub off right here.